Have you seen omega-3 supplements on the shelves? Do you know what they are? Do you know what you need if you need them? Well, let's find out. Welcome to the Fabulous Health Show. I'm your host, Terry Chrisman, and I'm a whole foods plant-based nutritionist. And this podcast is all about helping you obtain optimal health so that you can live a long, happy life and age with grace and vitality. So it's episode 22. Today, we're going to talk about omega-3 fatty acids. What are they and do we need them? But before that, let me tell you about this podcast. I go live every day at 10 a.m. US Central Time, live on Facebook and live on my YouTube channel, Fabulous Health. And also, directly after that, I will load this podcast up to all your favorite podcast places, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, you name it, it's up there. And if you want to subscribe, the best thing to do is go to fabuloushealth.net, click on the podcast button, and then you can subscribe to your favorite podcast. And if you have a podcast platform that is not on my list, please send me a message and I'll add it to the list so that you can subscribe there as well. Okay, thank you so much for everybody that has already subscribed and watches the show. I really, really appreciate you. And I hope that I'm giving you tons and tons of value. Of course, this is just not all about me yabbering at you. If you want me to cover a topic, please let me know. Say it in the comments, send me an email through my website, however you want to reach me, send me a Facebook Messenger message, and I will attempt to cover that topic for you if it's in my scope of knowledge. Okay, so today it's going to be a little bit heavy on the science, so please forgive me, but let's see if we can make it easy and fun. So we're going to start off with some chemistry. So in your mind, I want you to imagine a centipede. Yeah, the centipede's got lots of little, or maybe a caterpillar with legs, whatever, doesn't matter. And it's got lots of little sections and lots of little legs. It has a head and it has a butt. So think about a fatty acid as being a caterpillar or a centipede. So the body is made of carbon atoms and the legs are made of hydrogen. Now, the fatty acids are attached to each other with the carbon atoms are attached to, I knew this is going to be a problem already. Here we go. So the long chains of carbon atoms have little hydrogens sticking out from the side, and there's a methyl group at one end, which is one carbon and 3 hydrogens, and we'll call that the head. And then there's an acid group at the other end, which is 1 carbon, 2 oxygens and a hydrogen, and we'll call that the tail. So we got a methyl end, which is the head, lots of carbons with little hydrogen legs, and 1 acid, which is the tail. So along the chain of carbons, which is the body, there could be a double carbon bond at a specific position and no hydrogen, so no legs. So they miss a pair of legs. And that indicates for the fatty acid the amount of saturation of the fat. So, for example, a saturated fat, and I'm talking about butter and lard and coconut oil, has no double carbon bonds. So it's fully saturated with hydrogen. So therefore, your little caterpillar's got all its legs. And then a monosaturated fat has only 1 double carbon bond. So it loses 2 pairs of legs. Sorry, it loses 1 pair of legs, loses 2 legs. So there's a head, legs, 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 no legs, more legs, then a butt. Yeah? Now, when we talk about omega-3 fat, I forgot to tell you about a polyunsaturated fat. A polyunsaturated fat has 2 or more double carbon bonds. So the caterpillar or the centipede is missing 4 hydrogens and 2 sets of legs. So it might go head, legs, 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 no legs, no legs, 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 butt. Yeah? So that's your chain of fatty acids. And that tells you whether your fatty acid is saturated, monounsaturated, or polyunsaturated. Is that clear? I don't know. It's clear to me. I hope it really is clear for you. So when we talk about omega-3 fatty acids and omega-6 fatty acids, the number 3 and 6 represents the position of the first double bond closest to the methyl end, the head. So if the first pair of missing legs on your caterpillar is the 3rd pair of legs, it's an omega-3 fatty acid. And if the first pair of legs missing on your caterpillar is the 6th pair of legs, then it's an omega-6 fatty acid. I hope that cleared it up for you. Now remember, Saturated fat is solid at room temperature. So that's your lard and your coconut oil and your butter. And then polyunsaturated fats, like the omega-3s, they are liquid at room temperature. So now there are only two fatty acids that your body can't make for itself, and that is linoleic acid, which is an omega-6, and alpha linoleic acid, which is an omega-3. So it's the alpha linoleic acid that everybody's talking about. We have to get these fatty acids from our diet. But hang on a minute. I don't see alpha linoleic acid in the supermarket. No, I see DHA, which is docosahexaenoic acid. Well, let me tell you what happens. Why do we see DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, in the supermarket, in those fish oil supplements? It's because the body eats the ALA, it converts it to eicosapentaenoic acid, which is EPA, and then it converts it to doxahexaenoic acid, which is DHA, and that's the omega-3 that you use. So these fats are essential for normal growth and development, especially for the eyes and the brain. Now, the body uses the EPA to create hormone-like compounds called eicosanoids, and these help lower blood pressure, prevent blood clots, and especially for people who already have atherosclerosis. So you really need to get that omega-3 into you if you already have an issue. EPAs also, the eicosanoids, also protect against irregular heartbeats. They reduce inflammation in the body. And remember that chronic inflammation is the root of all diseases. Now, there is a ratio, a proper, correct ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s that the body is really liking, which is optimal. It's about 5-1. So that means 5 omega-6s for every 1 omega-3 that you ingest. But what happens is, we as human beings on the planet, we're garbage at this, and we eat too many omega-6s, so the ratio is usually about 20-1. So we're increasing that likelihood of inflammation in the body. So things like olive oil, corn oil, sunflower oils, these are all omega-6s, and we don't want them. We want more omega-3s. So remember, omega-3s are essential for proper brain development. So if you're thinking about getting pregnant, or you are pregnant, or you've got a baby, get omega-3s into you, because they're essential for brain development in fetuses and babies. So I talked about fatty fish oils a second ago, because that's where most people get their supplements from, fatty fish oil. Well, fatty fish has the highest source of omega-3s in the DHA form. Now, how do they get that omega-3, that DHA, in their flesh? Well, the fish convert the ALA that they eat in the plants and the plankton in the ocean, and they convert it to DHA like we do. So they're doing the thing in their body that we already do in our body. But the problem with fish oils is that they are fraught with danger. Now, ocean fish, big predator fish like deep sea tuna and shark and swordfish, they are at the top of the food chain. So they eat the medium fish, who eat the little fish, who eat the tiny fish, who eat the prawns and the little things on the bottom of the ocean. And so the ocean, the big predator fish, they have accumulated a lot of the toxins that the little fish that they eat along their journey have accumulated in their body. So ocean fish are full of mercury. Mercury is, unless you don't know, is poison. It's a neurotoxin. It causes loss of peripheral vision, speech impairment, loss of motor function, loss of coordination, muscle weakness. Babies can have issues with brain development, cognition, attention, language skills, and visual spatial skills from eating fish or taking fish oil supplements that are high in mercury. Now, the ocean is not like it used to be 100 years ago. The ocean is completely polluted and full of mercury. Now, the problem with the fish oil is that it's not the whole fish. It's concentrated. So fish oil capsules, no thanks. Most of them also could be rancid before you even get them on the shelf. So stay away from the fish oil capsules. The other thing is, if you take DHA, your body forgets to know how to convert the ALA to the EPA to DHA because it doesn't need to. So you've got to get your body to work like a well-oiled machine. Eat the foods with the AHA in them, get your body to convert them to EPA and then DHA. You can convert it yourself and know you're getting the right amount and your body is working really, really well. So where do we get these magic ALAs from? You get your omega-3s from nuts, walnuts, almonds. You get them from seeds like pumpkin seeds and chia seeds. And the really highest one is flax seeds. You also can get them from soybeans and soybean products like tofu. But let me talk to you about seeds very quickly. If you just chucked some seeds on top of your granola or your oatmeal or whatever, your body cannot get through that exoskeleton of the seed. It really needs help. You can't digest that and you're going to end up pooping out little flax seeds in the toilet and you'll go, well, that was pointless. I just ate all these flax seeds and nothing happened. They did me no good whatsoever. So you do need to grind them. Now, so easy to grind them. You just chuck them in the blender and they're in powder and you're good to go. But they do lose all their benefit if they've been ground for too long. So my advice to you is do not buy ground flax seeds unless you keep them in the freezer. What I suggest you do is you buy whole flax seeds, grind a little bit, put that little jar in the fridge, put the rest of your flax seeds in the freezer. When you run out of that little jar, a few days later, grind some more flax seeds, and then so on and so on. I grind my flax seeds about once every 3 weeks. It's not an issue. It takes me about 45 seconds. You only need 2 tablespoons a day of ground flax seeds, or you can have maybe 1 or 2 ounces of walnuts. You don't need to grind them because you're going to chew them and they're going to be bioavailable to you anyway. So I hope that cleared up some of your questions about omega-3 fatty acids. I hope the science wasn't too confusing and I hope it made it digestible for you. Did you get that? And I hope that it helped you work through the confusing, conflicting information about omega-3s and whether you need those fish oil supplements. No, you don't. Throw them out. Go buy yourself some walnuts and some seeds and eat them every single day. I love your comments. I love your questions. Go to fabuloushealth.net and see all the lovely other episodes of this podcast. And I've got blogs and I've got all sorts of fun things on that website. And if you want to ask me a question, you can send me an email as well. But if you're really ready to take it to the next level, try out my new online weight loss course, we're lifting some weights, online weight loss course. It's called the Quick Road to Fabulous Weight Loss. And if you use the promo code podcast, I'll give you 50% off. That's a good deal. Go there and do it right now. So tomorrow we are finding out what is the healthiest thing on the planet to add to your diet. I hope you'll join me then, and I hope you have a fabulous day. See you tomorrow.